Hey y'all, this is Tasha, and if I figured out what I'm doing, then you've just seen an overview of my bookshelves. They are not, aesthetically pleasing, but we only have so much space here, so they get the job done. Today is going to be the first episode of my series that I'm calling Curating My Shelves. So basically, I have been watching BookTube and following Book Twitter since about 2017. I'm just now been active in it. But in that time, it has caused me to amass this very large collection. And I do have another shelf over here. And if you're wondering, this is my closet door. Anyway, so I have a little bit of everything on these shelves. The top two shelves, this shelf and the one above it, are all read books. So I've already read all of those books. And then the bottom four shelves, the bottom four shelves are unread books. So I have a very large collection of unread books. And I'm trying to figure out a way to get them down. So what I came up with is what I'm calling curating my shelves. So I want to make sure that at the end of this project, which will probably take a year, that every book on my shelf is something that I am either really excited to read, something that I have read, or something that holds some kind of value to me. So throughout this curating my shelves, there'll be unhaul videos. There will be random reading vlogs themed around some books on the shelf. So what I'm going to do now for this first episode is, on Twitter, I asked y'all to pick a shelf, and all the votes, if I can get a screen capture, all the votes were for shelf 2. So let me slide out the way. This is the second shelf of unread books, and this is what it looks like. And all these shelves are double stacked, so there's even more back there. So basically what I have done is I have picked, I've created some prompts and a TBR jar for this shelf specifically, where I'm going to try to pick up 5 books every month that I'm going to read within a month's time, a month-ish time. I'll come back and wrap those up. And in that time, I'm either going to decide to keep it, unhaul it, pass it along, whatever I'm going to do with it, so that by the end, after I'm done with this shelf, then I'll move on to the next one, and you'll get it as it goes. Okay, I'm back. My mom walked in. My mom came to my house. Anyway, so for this first round, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 5 books that I can try to fit in over the month. Again, y'all know I'm trying to go TBR list, be a little more loose, but I do want to tackle this project to try to get these unread books down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one book that I think is going to be 5 stars, and I'm going to pick 2 prompts out of the jar, and then I'm going to pick 2 random books out of the jar, and that's going to be my TBR for this first round of curating my shelves. If y'all have any ideas, please leave them down in the comments down below, how I can do this, or some more ideas for me, because it's just kind of something that I've been meaning to do, and I'm really excited about starting it. And it's open, it's evolving, it's changing, it can be whatever we want it to be. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to look at my shelf and tell you which one I think is going to be 5 stars. Okay, after scouring my shelves, I have 2 picks for my 5-star prediction, so I'm going to take it down to 1. And that one is, I have Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. And then I have Winter of the Witch by Katherine Arden. If you've seen my October mid-month, you'll know that I just read a Katherine Arden, Small Spaces, which is her middle grade. So I think I'm going to save this one for when it gets a little cooler, or as cold as it gets in Texas. And I'm going to read Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson, because I am dying to read this book. I bought it brand new, and so this is going to be my 5-star prediction for this shelf. Okay, now we're going to get into the randomized TBR part of this. So first I'm going to pick out the 2 books that I'm going to draw at random. So I have a little Folgers coffee cup thing, coffee thing. I keep these to do something with them. Let's stick my hand in here. And this jar has all of the books that are on that shelf in there. So let's see. I'll pull this one out. Ooh, I pulled out like 5. Let's try that again. I'll pull this one out. This one. 1. And that one is, you don't see that? Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Okay. Let me see where that one is. All right, I found it. Good Night in the Garden of Good and Evil. This is, I don't know what this is about. So let's see. Sheltering out in Savannah's grandest mansion in the misty early morning of May 2nd, 1981. Was it murder or self-defense? For nearly a decade, the shooting and its aftermath reverberated throughout this hauntingly beautiful city of moss-hung oaks and shaded squares. John Burns' sharply observed, suspenseful, and witty narrative reads like a thoroughly engrossing novel, and yet it is a work of nonfiction. Oh, okay. So this is a nonfiction novel apparently following a crime that happened in a small town. So it sounds intriguing. Sounds good for this time of year. So this is going to be the first one that I picked out of the TBR jar. So I'm excited. Fun. Throw that out. And I'll pull this one. All right. This one is Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. Here it is, Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. This is the first book in the, what is this called? What's that guy's name? Bill Hodges series. Yes. I got this from Dollar Tree for $1. I saw it there. People were reading it. I never knew if I would read a King, but I read his newest short story collection and I didn't hate it. So I'm curious to see how this one goes. I think that this follows a detective looking for a killer who drove his car through an unemployment line, I want to say. I don't know. It fits the season. It's a Stephen King. So I don't expect the ending to be great. I don't know. I got it for $1. So we'll try this one out and see how it goes. The next phase is to pick 2 reading prompts that I'm going to pick randomly out of a jar. So here's my reading prompt jar. It looks the same. Jar coffee 10. Okay, we'll call it a coffee 10. Sounds fancy. So my first prompt is here, and it's a popular author. Let's see. Popular author. Yes. Okay. So I guess it's finally time for me to pick up Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I bought this at a used bookstore in Louisiana, I want to say, visiting a friend. This is the first book in her Villain series. It was originally a standalone. She's since written 1 book, and there might be another. I don't know. Here's the thing about V. Schwab. I love her concepts. Her concepts are always amazing, and I really, really enjoy them. Her writing and her execution of them, not always my favorite. I've read the Complete Shades of Magic trilogy, and while I did enjoy it, it wasn't something where I was just like, this is the best thing in the world, and no, it was fine. So I'm hesitant to pick this up because I don't dislike her writing, and I love her concepts, but I have heard that if you don't like the Shades of Magic, or Shades of London, or whatever it's called, series, that this one might be more your taste. So I'm gonna pick this up for popular author, because I would say she's a popular author, at least on here. Okay, and 1 more book for my TBR. Let's see what this prompt says. A Black author. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. On this particular shelf, I have 3 books written by Black authors. I have A Long Way Gone, Ruby, Northwest by Zadie Smith, and A Brief History of 7 Killings by Marlon James. I think that I'm going to go with, let's see, yeah. I'm going to go with NW, Northwest by Zadie Smith, because I read Zadie Smith before. It was the one with the 2 dancers. What was the name of that one? I'll put it on the screen if I remember to do it in editing. And I really enjoyed it. I liked her writing. I really enjoyed her commentary on the Black experience. She is from the UK. So she's really popular over there. I saw this at a used bookstore and I picked it up. So I'll go ahead and go with this one. The other ones, one of them I don't really know a lot about. This one's a nonfiction. And this one is dense as hell, and I'm coming out of a reading slump. So I don't want to put myself back in one. So I'm going to go with this one, NW by Zadie Smith. Ooh. These are the 5 books that got selected pretty randomly from my shelf, with the exception of the 5-star prediction, that I'm going to read first to try to curate my shelves, to try to make my shelves be more reflective of me. So that's everything that I have for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please offer your suggestions down in the comments. I would really, really appreciate it. If you like the content, please subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye, all.